tell us about the solar opportunities in Kenya. Yep. Why solar? Why is it solar a big thing? So we are with John Degwa, the proprietor of Ecodesh Power Solutions. And today we are discussing about renewable energy, the solar revolution in Kenya. We're exploring solar energy solutions in this country. And now I would want you to look at or give the viewer a taste of what solar is to this country. What is the importance of solar? Why is solar the next big thing? Why are we talking about a revolution? What is it that we're talking about? Why should people care about solar?
As we get to there, let's understand what is this solar we are talking about. The solar technology is an energy that we call it renewable energy sources in having in Kenya, that we can utilize it. It's a free from sun. We get it from during the day, during the night we don't have it. It's that in fullness of time of the day. Now, we are at the equator in our country. Let me mention that. Our country lying along the equator, we experience one of the longest hours of sunshine, average 6 hours.
Okay.
This makes us, our country, positioned in a way we enjoy more solar than any other country, especially below where we have the southern side of the continent. They experience less. All countries along the equator, they experience more sunshine hours. We are lucky in this country.
So the sun is overhead?
The sun
Kenya.
yes.
Okay.
And we get the longest sunshine hours. So the solar comes with many things. It comes with an importance of carbon reduction. And carbon reduction has been the biggest problem in what we call nowadays climate change. Everyone is now witnessing climate change all over the world, globally. And the climate change has brought many things in terms of our life. It has brought unpredictable climate, and funny diseases we have never met before. We never know about cancer. It's all come to correlation of the climate somewhere. With these kind of challenges, solar, being a renewable energy, is creating an avenue or the opportunity that we can utilize another sources of power to do whatever we do in our activities, at home, in our school, in our industries, wherever we work, because we need power. So, with this solar, why can't we embrace it? With the importance from that it can make our life better. Because, look, our technology right now, we are going to solar in motor vehicles. We have already rolled out vehicles that use electric. And these electric cars can be charged using solar. We have now at home everything we are calling LED. All these even technology has raised even our plants in a way solar can power them. In a way they take very true power consumption. It's said that whatever we used to use from the grid is now at a reduced consumption. So this is the era for solar now. That's what I can say.
The viewer is mostly interested in the costs. Maybe you can tell us, how does the cost of solar compare with electricity? Because in the end of the day, the sun might be free, might be available, but there's a cost attached to actually delivering that to his or her house. And if you want the person to make a switch from electricity to solar, how do you compare that cost in the short and long term?
In solar, we always see the cost may look high at the initial.
Okay.
But the maintenance is zero.
Okay.
So I always give a hypothesis. When you're putting up a house, you see mabati, the stones, they look expensive. But once you start living it, inside it, you don't realize the cost. The same with solar investment. The cost may look, somehow the capital today may look high, but once you are in it, there's nothing to service. It's zero service in terms of nothing to pay because the sun is doing it. The only thing we mention in solar, because it comes with 3 major equipment, we have the solar panels. We call them solar modules. These are solar generators that now harness power from the sun. Then there is the conversion, which is done by an equipment called inverter. And then we have the storage part, we call it battery. Now, the only part that we service in solar, as per se, is the battery. And with the technology evolution, we are in technology where we use lithium battery. Lithium battery can take us now over 10 years.
A battery 10 years, lifespan?
Yes, 10 years.
Okay.
So, in looking at the cost now, let's not look at the cost of buying the panel and the inverter, because those are hardwares that we build power. Like it's the same case scenario we say, we don't look at the transformer when you are connecting power, because transformer is in the hardware. Once we put it, we are sure you have power, even from the grid. So now the transformer here equivalent is the panels and the inverter. Now what we service in grid power is the bills. In solar we say what we service is the battery. So if you look at the cumulative consumption when you're using grid vis-a-vis the storage, which you serviced after 10 years, you find the solar is far much ahead. And that's why we are encouraging people to embrace solar. Of course, there is an aspect we say it's easy, you can go slowly by slowly to upgrade to what is capacity that you can have. So let's not have fear that it's expensive.
Okay.
You can start from small, 1 panel, 1 inverter, 1 battery. Later on, we scale up.
Okay.
So the issue of costs is not a hindrance.
Okay.
So long as you'll be able to, for example, in many factories right now, that would pay bills per month from 10 million upward. And with the inflation, it went up to 15 years. They have now embraced solar. And now they are able to reduce their bill by almost 40%.
Okay.
You can imagine these industries, they have panels all over. And they have reduced the bills with a solar technology system, we are calling them on-grid.
Okay.
And this on-grid system, they are not substituting the grid power. What they are doing is that they optimize when the sun is available during the day. They do much of their production. If it's a factory that makes cement, they make most of the heavily consuming machines. They run them during the day when the sun is being generated. And that, during the night, they do the light applications.
Okay.
They can be parking, they can be doing labeling, those light duties. So with that, they find their bills have gone so much low.
Okay.
Even at home, if we embrace solar, we are going to have reduced power bills. Somebody who was paying 5,000 to 10,000, when you embrace solar, you can be paying 1,000. So that's a reduction. Because nowadays we have technology, especially being used in home setup, for heating water. If you embrace it, you have the solar system that heat water. Then you are left for the lighting. And then we have solar. When you combine the two for your home, your bill is could be a standby charges for metering.
Okay.
So we are encouraging people to embrace solar. To the first point, they can reduce their power bill. Number 2, they are likely to have no blackouts.
Okay.
Because so long as there is sun, there is power.
Okay.
And so long as we have stored part of the power, then we can use it during the night.
We are coming from a place whereby when solar was introduced, and might be old school, people still have that imagination of as a panel powering a black and white television,
yes,
and it couldn't do any much more.
Yes.
Might be just recap, because I know you've mentioned a few of those things. The technology today, what can it do in a household? What can it power? Because I know there's somebody who still has that old thought of solar as something a bit limited.
Yes.
Can you just elaborate again or reiterate the impact of solar today?
The impact of solar from old days to now is like comparing the telecommunication.
Okay.
I compare it to telecommunication, where to make a call, it involves you going right now from here to town to go to a booth.
To a call booth, yeah.
And make a call there.
Yes.
And maybe you must have communicated with the other person that you'll be calling at a certain time. That's how I can compare. Now the solar technology. We have moved where we used to have a black and white TV, a battery, and a panel. Now we are talking about solar system that can power the entire factory, that can power entire school, the church, home.
Okay.
That's the kind of system we are talking about.
So you're literally saying in a home it can power everything for 24 hours.
Yes.
You can even store power to do 24 hours.
Exactly.
And powers it. Your fridge, powers your television, powers your microwave, powers your pump.
Yeah.
You have a water pump.
Yes.
And it can do all that.
It's not only even, some people even think it cannot do welding.
Welding.
It can do even welding.
Okay.
Yes. For people who have connected to their home and they want to...
And yet that is where I want to maybe to focus and accommodate us. You talked about solar panels worth 10 millions, you know, that's a lot of money for the Gen Zs, millennials, and part of the Generation X. So we are wondering, are there more affordable or subsidized costs for one to have a solar system in their maybe home or workplace? And then also we are worried about the reliability. How reliable is solar system? Because we've grown up in an era, some of us with electricity, we are used to electricity, we think that any alternative may not be so reliable. You know, we're in a generation, for example, the Gen Zs, there's a common saying, they would go for reliable Wi-Fi more than a reliable toilet. That is a common saying. So we're thinking, we want to be relevant. We're talking about speed. Someone wants to have access to maybe information, internet, Wi-Fi, all those things, and we don't want anything to slow us down. That's the kind of generation we are talking about. So if you're addressing revolution, you must have generation in mind. How are you accommodating them? And how reliable is solar? And then the costing. Is it something that we can try? Is it something that we can indulge in, or we just have to sit aside and hear the conversation, then wait for another panel?
Okay, well, to the youth,
Yes.
Or people who are starting their lives to do better things, you can use solar system to do your, maybe nowadays youth are doing things like computer, online things. So it's all about the needs, drives what solar system you need. With the youth, what do they need? Number one, it could be the computer power. It could be the bulb power. So their power needs are a bit smaller. And when you come to the solar, you don't just go buy a solar. First get the application, get the power demands. What are the needs that I need for? Because that's what the solution you're going to have. So in this case, if it's a youth, and maybe he wants to power his camera, his phones, his computer, there are those small package, which are even some below 150,000. And nowadays we encourage them, when they come to us, we can have an account opened for them. Then we have an agreement how they'll be paying it, so that to enhance their intake for this sort of kind of projects. The other thing you mentioned is about how reliable it is. First, let's embrace professionalism, because before we get to the bit, let's start. Who are you going to source these solar systems? Did you start from somewhere, or in the middle you realize I needed a profession? What I say, start right, get it right.
Yeah.
If you engage a competent professional, you're going to get an advice from the word go, that these are the power needs you have, yes. So the solar panels we need are these numbers. The capacity for your inverter is this. The battery is this. So let's embrace the professionalism where you go to source the solution from. That's one of the things that I always map it with reliability. Yeah. Because if you get the design wrong, you get everything wrong.
Sure.
You buy a big battery, very few panel means you cannot charge the battery. Or you do the opposite. You get very big panels, but a very small storage. So let's embrace professionalism, and so that we get competent solutions providers.
At Ecodesh, what is the procedure that you follow, or the process that you follow to do installation? For example, I come in and I want you to install solar. What's the process, and what are the products that you have?
At Ecodesh, let me mention, we have we call us Ecodesh Power Solutions. So the word solution is very well pronounced, because we don't just sell products. So first and foremost, when a customer has a need of a solar solution, we first engage in a dialogue and a conversation. Okay. Because we want to understand what is your need. It's the same like we become like doctors. We cannot start treating if you don't go to the lab. Okay. So we must first, if it's at your home, we may need to come and visit to understand your power needs. If you know them well, if you know them very well, we may not come. But if you have no idea what you need, we have to do what we call energy audit. We need to understand if it's a school, then we need to understand what is their power requirements. From the power requirement, we'll do now the design.
Okay.
And the design will now involve to know how many number of panels that you need, the size of the inverter, the power storage part of it, and of course, do you have the space for the system? If you don't have the space, maybe you don't have that roof to accommodate it. What can we do? We have now to understand, do you have a bigger lad? Maybe we can mount them on that place. So the always thing first is to assess your energy demands. After doing that, doing the design, now come to the budget part of it. We'll give you the budget, but we also need to hear from you. Do you have that budget? If you don't have, then we need to understand what are we able to do. With the budget that you have, we can scale it down, looking at the future that when you have more, you can put, and then we scale it up. And nowadays, we are partnering with financing institutions. They're coming on board, especially for where a lot of big budget is involved. They're coming in to offset. So it's not for you now. It's more like a loan kind of system.
Or you can actually get a loan.
Yes, to finance it at a very low interest. We have partners who are coming on board. If especially for big system, which not so much money, above maybe you can have maybe 15 million, 20 million going up like that. They come on board because maybe you didn't have that money somewhere. Instead of you putting your or disorienting your cash flow, they come in. We partner with them. They will fund us. We'll put the solar system, and then now whatever bills you have been paying come to service them now.
Okay.
There's that arrangement so now.
Okay.
So, and this is the most lucrative, I think, approach now. The biggest heavy power consumer, they need the solar, are going. Yeah.
So what products do you have?
We have variety of the products from different solutions. For solar lighting, we have solar panels.
Okay.
We have inverters. We have the batteries of different quality brands. That so far they are top mainstream in the technology. We have them. On solar water heating solution, we have the solar thermoset boilers that you put on the roof, ranging from 200 liters to 300 liters. We have a variety of solar pumping solution. This is where people have dug borehole. They want to power now their borehole using solar. We have solar panels, and you have the solar pumping inverters which are involved. Then we also have a solution for solar lighting.
Yeah.
And this, you want to power your area or a compound with solar lamps. We have small for gardens. You have for flood lamps, solar street lighting. All of them are available.
Okay.
And we encourage our viewers and even you to visit us in our showroom. All these things are available.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Now, there's somebody out there who is asking for an opportunity in terms of business in the solar industry, job employment. Might be somebody is inspired to get into that solar space. What opportunities are there? What advice would you have for especially the young people who would really want to help them get into the space that you are in? What opportunities would you advise them, and what do you see as a future?
Looking at the future, from the analysis that has been done, looking at Vision 2030, is that we have an opportunity of harnessing 15,000 megawatts from solar in our country. And so far what we have done is 155, thereabout, megawatts. What does that mean? We are below 5% in terms of exploring the opportunity in solar. And why solar? As I told you, we are along the equator. We are experiencing the highest sunshine hours. What does that mean? Is that we have the opportunity to harness solar power and use it as an alternative to what we have. We have generator, we have grid. These bills are now killing us now. Everyone is feeling it. Because we have many bills now. When you have power and the other things you feel, so it's always good to think of how do I manage bills. So now, solar is there as free. So people who want to, at home, you want to have, to reduce much of your bill. We call it the start of journey or to financial freedom is first remove the power bills.
Yes.
Once you remove the power bill, you have embraced solar. And I think nowadays we cannot miss to say that we have an reliable power grid, especially when it rains. When it rains, be sure because of the state of our infrastructure, of power lines, sometimes they fall down. When they fall before our utility companies come to restore them, 2-3 days, we have no power. If you are a business person, it means your office has no power for the days. Either you have a generator that you'll be running for the entire 3 days. And you know how fuel is, the cost now. So what are we saying? You are in business. And you are closing the office because you have no power. Because your computer cannot work, your printer cannot work, your data, but the sun is there. So there is opportunity to making your business stabilize rather than lose money. You have employed staff. When there is power, they are all idle. It's so unfortunate that it's happening. But to reward yourself is embrace solar and keep off those kind of outages. At the same time, reduce your bill, have reliable power. And one thing we may see, solar is one of the cleanest power. You have had power burning equipment in the house. It happened because sometimes of the transmission hiccups. We get long voltage, our plants cannot take those voltages, we end up burning everything in the house. But what we say about solar, it always gives stable, clean power. So many things are coming along with this kind of technology. There's many opportunity. First, you need to calm yourself down from bother of the quality of power we are having. Number two, we need to stabilize our business. Number three, for young people, there is so much that they can come to tap on this scope. Because, as I told you, we have 15,000 megawatts not yet put. We need more people to come in the industry. But at the same time, most of our universities have started training. That's the things I appreciate. We have now courses being offered for solar technology, renewable energy in our university. So I think academic-wise, we are doing well. What now we need to encourage our young people to start looking out for this opportunity. They can go for their studies. And now they start evolution of going renewable and looking for opportunity. Instead of saying there's no job, there's so much to be done in this space. We cannot, there's space for everyone. We are not to finish everything. So if we need more players in the market, we need people who can fix them. We need people who can also sell them. So the space is there.
That's wonderful. My dear viewer, especially the young people, there's a lot of opportunities in solar. As he said, we have not scratched even 5% of the opportunities that are available in solar. There are career opportunities, there are opportunities in terms of marketing, in terms of being solar engineers, in terms of being salespeople, being electricians in this space. And the challenge is to you now. After having listened to this conversation, there is an opportunity for you to get into this. If you're passionate, if you have this vision, you can be able to make it happen. So with parting remarks, let's go to Enoch. Parting remarks.
Thank you so much, Bishop. Thank you so much, Engineer John. You've really educated me and allayed most of my anxieties. And I feel like solar is the way to go. Because in our generation, we embrace alternatives. We don't want any break. We don't want anything to really slow us down. And if solar is giving that as a solution, I think it's the way to go. And I like the way you have really stepped down and showed us affordable packages, you call them that way, that someone can start. You don't need everything. You need to have someone do the diagnosis. When I was at medical school, we called it community diagnosis. Yes, I have that background as well. So I learned that you can save so much when you approach the experts, the professionals in the field. They will help you do the itinerary that you need. They will help you preclude what you don't want and what you require, what you can afford. This is very exciting. I am very positive. I know this is a way to go. Yes.
Thank you very much, Enoch, and thank you for participation.
Yes.
Witness of some of the fantastic jobs that you have been able to undertake. I've actually participated, viewed and partaken of some of the things you've done. Big installations, small installations. So I'm a witness and I can give testimony that you are able to do some very nice work. So with that, dear viewer, I would say God bless you. Stay tuned to Kingdom Business Network, where we keep on giving you tips on how to grow your business, bringing different panels so that you are able to be well-rounded, so that you can be able to explore your vision, and may God bless you very much.